Hello, my friends. This is MC Oda, and welcome to this episode of my Minecraft Survival Let's Play. Let's get started. So, last episode, we explored a little bit of the world, underground and over land, to check out some of the changes in 1.18. This episode, I want to get back to where I left off with these villagers. I did a couple things off camera, besides planting a few oak trees that I'm going to need to probably get ready to use for this episode. I went ahead and I got all the mending books that I traded off of my villager up there, and I got it onto most of my tools. And and I also went grinding. I got another sharpness 4 sword, and I actually it was just enough that I was able to get it combine the two swords. So this one is now maxed out the way I want it. So this weapon is now named Oda's Sword. So this villager, one thing with, whenever I, do the villagers in this contraption here, even though this villager is standing here next to his workbench, and he'll use it, you'll actually hear him flip the pages, he won't, well, actually, am I lying? He is actually refreshing his trades. Huh. Maybe they changed that. Okay. I need to go find some books and check this out. Okay, it used to be, last time I did mess with villagers, it used to be that even though he was next to his workbench, if he's standing in his minecart, he would make the sounds like he's using his table, but his trades would not refresh. So once you've maxed out and gotten, like, say, all 12 books or whatever the maximum is, he just wouldn't ever refresh after that. But it looks like that might have changed. So let me just make a few books here. And that'll be plenty. Alright, let's go see if he'll actually trade us some books now. So I didn't have quite enough mending books to put on all of my equipment. So I needed to trade a few more. And some of my equipment, even though I put mending books on them, they're not equipment that I'm going to end up keeping in the long run. Like, I don't want this to remain fire protection for its whole, life of the game. So, let's see if I can actually get more bending books from him. All right. Okay, great. His trade did refresh. That's awesome. Okay, because in the past, if he was sitting here, he would just never refresh those trades. So, all right, I was wrong about that. They must have updated something with the behavior. Okay, great. But regardless, he's not going to live here next to the zombie in the station. I want this station to be used for other villagers. So what I was thinking about doing in this episode was making some kind of permanent residence for him. Maybe somewhere out here. So whenever I built this curing station, I was thinking I would put the a villager breeding farm over here. And I'm actually thinking I might tuck that up here a little bit closer to this hill. So it might be here, so that whenever the villagers are bred, I can easily transport them directly into this cave here to go up into the converter. So as far as where the villagers will live, beyond the ones that are in the breeding house, I was thinking just kind of out here in this area. So maybe out here, I might cover up this part of this pond here, and maybe just let the pond end at this point, and maybe have this as a field where I can put some homes. Yeah, actually, I think that's probably going to be a good spot for it. So in this episode, I want to build that guy a home and get that started. I want to move him into the home, and I want to get this farmer. I need to get him zombified and cured again, because he is just, oh, hey, this guy just showed up. I'll go check on him in a second. So this guy still won't bring his potato trade back down. So this is the one, if you saw my earlier episodes, I only zombified and cured him 4 times, and it got everything down to 1, but this 1 price just slowly creeps back up. So I need to get him done a 5th time, and that should hopefully lock him in at the lowest prices. So, and I'm thinking after I get that guy moved into his house, we can get him carted up to the station and just give him a cure, a zombification and cure, and then get him settled and back in here. All right, let's see what this guy has to trade. Anything good? Bucket of fish, some dye, a sea pickle. I don't think I really need the sea pickle. I'm not I'm not sure if I've even found a coral, any coral in the oceans yet. So why don't I grab the sea pickle, just in case I can't find a coral ocean here. And next time one comes around selling coral blocks, maybe I'll grab a couple of those so we can breed these pickles. Or farm them, I guess, not breed them. Alright, and then you are now done. Thank you. Okay. Alright, now I have some ideas about what I want to do for a home for these villagers. And it's not going to be, I'm not going to make just a bunch of little houses like these. I think the farmer's got his house, and I think the converter's house. I think where they live is going to be more like little apartments. It's not going to be like a villager trading hall where they're just shoved into little booths, but it's going to be kind of like apartments. And I had an idea of making those apartments like as if they were like kind of stacked blocks. You know, like they're all going to be like kind of square shaped, relatively small, but they're all going to be kind of stacked on top of each other in kind of, you know, wonky patterns and stuff. So that's my idea. And I'm going to keep them nice and simple, you know, kind of like this. It just kind of has like a border, you know, and glass. I think I'm going to kind of keep a similar feel for these, except I'm going to use oak wood as the borders of it. And I'm thinking I'm just going to glass in the sides. I'm probably going to make a solid floor so they don't have to stand on glass. And then just very minimal things inside the building, like a workbench and maybe a bed and maybe, you know, like a little table and a lamp or something. But I'm going to keep them simple. But one thing I need is I need a lot of oak wood and I need a lot of glass. So actually, let me see if I have any more sand in here. I think I got some. Oh, that's all I have. And why do I have... Why am I putting dirt and sand in my cobblestone box? All right. I need to start labeling these things because I'm putting things in the wrong places. Okay, I'm probably going to have to go get more sand. I don't think I have much glass. I have very little glass. So I'm going to have to get more sand. I'm going to have to wait for those trees to grow and harvest some of that oak. And while I'm at it, I'm probably going to grind through some of these. And, oh, I did make one little change here. And I just wanted to show you guys this. I don't know if you saw the episode where I made this contraption, but if you put like, say, a block of iron ore in your dispenser, or up to 9 blocks in your dispenser, and then you put some in your offhand, and then you can kind of do like a right click, and then while you're holding down the right click, hold down your left click, and you can just kind of grind through it, and they'll spit out from this contraption and keep refilling your inventory. And originally when I made it, I was standing here on a block and I was having to do it down, and you really have to get the positioning of your cursor right. So one thing I like to do with these is instead just hop down one block, and now you've got like this whole range of motion that your cursor can be in without having a problem. So I just wanted to show you that. So I'm going to grind through some iron. I'm going to go collect some wood and collect some glass and do a whole bunch of smelting, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back. I've harvested those oak trees. I filled in that little part of the pond, and I raised up some of that ground one more block so it's even with this. And while I was doing that, I ran a little experiment. So this is going to prove to myself that I wasn't crazy. So what I did was I took these 2 blocks away so that the villager could now see the zombie. And then I did some trades with him. I maxed out his paper trade and his ink sac trade. And then I spent a good 2 Minecraft days kind of filling in dirt and cutting down trees and getting sand. And I came back and he did not refresh either one of those trades. And that's how I remember it. But then I put these 2 blocks back where he could no longer see the zombie. And then the next time he used the workstation, his trades refreshed. So that is definitely him seeing the zombie was keeping him from refreshing his trades. So if you ever decide to do a villager conversion thing like this and you want him to be able to refresh his trades while he's still in the chamber here, then make sure he cannot see the zombie. Good lesson learned there. That's crazy because I guess every time I've done this, I never had a wall between them and he could always see the zombie. So I just assumed that's how it always worked. Okay, so let me get started on building a home for these guys. I say these guys because this home, like I said, is going to be like kind of like little apartments, and it's going to house probably pretty much all the villagers that I convert from this point on. Let's see. So first, the area around it, I'm going to want done I'm going to use moss for this, and which means I need bone meal, plenty of bone meal. Okay, I'll just bring however much I have for now. And my glass was smelting. I'll let that stack continue smelting. I also ground out a bunch of iron because I am going to have to make some more rail so I can have enough rail to move these guys around everywhere I need them to go. And you know what? While I'm in here, I'm going to grab a bed so I don't have to keep running back to the house to sleep, because that's been getting a little bit annoying. All right, so let's go ahead and get this started. So my first thought was I'm going to kind of have a little spot where this building is at, and I figured the spot is going to be kind of a fenced-in spot, so I don't have to worry so much about mobs getting to them. And it's going to be, lit inside. I'm going to have lights in the ground, covered with moss carpets, to keep the area inside the fence lit up, so I don't have to worry about any mobs hurting any of my villagers. I'm going to steal a bunch of pumpkins from here. Okay. And I just need to sleep away this night real quick, and then I'll get started on showing you how I'm going to set up this area. Okay, so to set up this area, at first I was thinking I could just make a border of fences, but I wanted the fences to be a little bit less. Like if I just make them myself, they're probably going to be a little more rigid and square, and I wanted them to be a little bit more free-flowing, kind of more like a circle of fences. So what I figured is I'm going to start using the moss and letting it spread, and then kind of use that to guide where the area is going to be. So if you hit the moss, if you haven't used moss yet, I'm sure most of you probably have, but if you haven't yet, if you hit it with bone meal, then the blocks around it will turn into moss. And this will only hit certain blocks, like it'll hit dirt and stone and stuff, but it won't turn everything into moss. And then if you want, you can clear out the things that grew on top of it, like the azalea bushes, and you could even recollect the moss. But also one thing it does is it leaves these little moss carpets as well. And what we can do is every so often we're going to hide a lit pumpkin underneath one of those. So I'm going to just kind of let this kind of spread in its natural way, so I can see what the area is going to be, and then I can kind of use that as the border where I'm going to put my fence. Okay. Oh, I accidentally hit the grass instead of the moss there. There we go. Okay. Okay, I'm not going to make this area massive, so these are going to be relatively small apartments, and they're going to be kind of like stacked. So I think the base of it's not going to be huge. I don't want to make this to be a huge, big, unwieldy thing. I want this to be relatively small. So this might be... I'm trying to just get those to be filled. Okay, so this might be a relatively good size here to get started. Let's see. Let's just move it out a little bit more. Kind of this way. A little bit more coming out this way. And a little bit more in the back. Okay. This will probably be big enough because I'm going to fence all this in, and I don't want to have to make a ton of fence. So we'll just plop another couple out here. And let's see what that gives us. So let's just take a step back and see how big this mossed-in area is. Yeah, that's perfect. Because I think what I might do is like the base of it is going to be like 1 or 2, and then everything else is going to kind of stack up on top of it and maybe like come out and lean over and stuff and kind of go up. But the base of it is only going to be 1 or 2. So I think that's going to look good. So I'm going to carefully I don't want to knock up all of the carpets because I like how whenever you use the bone meal, these things kind of get randomly placed. So I'm just trying to knock out the grass and the bushes. And then what I'm going to do is make some pumpkins. Oh, that's right. You got to carve them first before you can put the candle in them. Yeah, that's probably going to be more than enough because with the new light level changes, you don't have to have lights quite so close together anymore. So this will be more than enough to light up this area inside this fence. So I will do 8 pumpkins. And let's see. So what I can do is I can say like punch up one piece of this carpet and the moss underneath it, put a pumpkin down, replace the moss carpet, and you never even see that it's there, but it's there creating light. And so if we turn on F3, we can see that the light blocks the block light. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, because I guess if nothing spawns to 0, technically that one pumpkin goes all the way out to here. Oh, that's crazy. I'm going to like this new lighting rule. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to need very few pumpkins for this. So let's see. Before we get into laying all the pumpkins down, let's start with... Oh, there we go. Let's start with some fence. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to need quite a bit of fence. And the fences are more expensive than the gates. So let me do this with the fences. Here. All right, that should hopefully be enough fences. So I'm just going to kind of see where the moss landed, and I'm just going to kind of surround that in fences. So I'm going to go kind of on the grass line around it, and it's okay that a few didn't get turned into moss. Let's see. All right. And hopefully this will look good. This was just an idea I had, just kind of throwing it together. I didn't try any of this out. I didn't plan any designs or anything. I just figured, did I already run out of fences? Holy cow. Yeah, this is why I wanted to mine all those oak trees, because I'm going to use it for the kind of the borders of the little apartments, but also I was going to need a bunch of fences, and boy, that sure does crank through the wood, doesn't it? Fences is a very expensive recipe for wood. It wasn't at first. The gates used to be more because the fences was just sticks. But then they wanted to add the ability to... I don't like the way that does. I don't like that. They wanted the ability to make different wood color fences. And when they did that, they had to incorporate the wood planks into the recipe. So rather than making the gates the more expensive recipe, they kept the gate recipe the same and made the fences the more expensive recipe. So, doesn't thrill me. I don't like that fences are so expensive, but it's their game. And that was the decision they made. Okay, so I think, here, let me get up on the hill and see. I think that looks kind of cool. I think that's going to be a nice little spot in here for these guys. Yeah, I like it. Okay, great. So let me go throw a couple pumpkins around here. So we had one kind of over in this area. We'll stick one over here. Let's see. Let's see. We can throw one over here. Let's see. I might put some of these little bushes back later. Oh, you know what? There's a grass there. Oh, let's see. I'll put a pumpkin here. One here. Still have 3 more pumpkins left. One here sounds good. It's probably enough pumpkins for now. Like I said, with the new light levels, you don't need them. You don't need quite as many of them anymore, so. All right, so I can, some of these random pieces of grass that didn't get replaced, I can put some moss in. And is that everything? There's a couple over here. And that was my last piece of moss. That's fine if there's a couple pieces of grass coming in. All right, so that's going to be the area that I'm going to build my little house in, or my little apartments. And I want a gate, but I don't want the gate. I want the gate to be a different color wood so it's easier to see. Let's see if I have any gates that are maybe spruce or dark oak already made. Let's see what we got. We've got 2 dark oak fences. That'll work. Yeah, that works. Okay, I made way too many planks. All right, I'm just going to get some of this out of my inventory real quick. All right, great. So let's get back to it and get the actual building started now. All right, so okay. And I need to sleep. All right, and I think I'll put a fence gate over on this side as well, just so that I can access this thing from multiple sides. Yeah, because this side's going to be facing, like, when I'm working with the breeder and stuff, so I definitely want to be able to access it from this side as well. Okay. Boom, there we go. All right. So let's look at building the first one of these. See, now that I converted so many of my logs into planks, I'm probably going to run out of logs. All right, so how big do I want these little apartments to be? So I want them to be like squares, like boxes. But I don't want them to be huge. Let's see. If I make them, the inside of them, let's see if they're, I don't want them to be, 7's getting pretty big though. So let's make them, well, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, wow, you can't really punch that, can you? I'm used to punching the dirt as I count, or punching the blocks or whatever, but boy, you punch that moss, it comes right up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Having an interior 5x5, this might be bigger than I wanted. That's like the size of that house. But, you know, yeah, because you come in here. I don't know that I need the villager to have a 5x5 area. That's bigger than I wanted. Okay, so let's scrap that. But if I make the interior 4x4, maybe that'd be good. I don't typically make even number builds because it's hard to put like a door in them. But it's fine if the door is offset, I guess. And some of these, like, since they're gonna be stacked on each other, they're probably going to be like accessible by with ladders and trap doors and stuff. So the doors probably isn't that big a deal. I think the 4x4 is a better size. I like that more. All right, so the first one's going to be here. So then I think I'm going to make a second one. I want it to be like they're not lined up, right? And then also there's going to be probably another one like kind of laying on top of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Here, 2, 3, 4. That's getting pretty close to my fence. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4. It was the wrong place anyway. There we go. So if the first 2 box apartments were there, how will that look? Take a step back and see. I think that's going to be fine. Yep, and then they're going to start stacking on top of each other, and they're going to kind of go in all different wonky directions eventually. And I'm not going to build them all now. Right now I'm going to build like 2. And then, oh, I guess I should probably move that pumpkin now. So right now I'm only going to build 2. And then I'm going to build others as I need them. So as I make more villagers, then I can add an apartment for the villager. So we'll see how that goes. 4. Okay, and then they're going to have some kind of flooring material, which I haven't actually decided on. I don't think I want the floors to be oak planks. I don't want this to just be oak on oak with glass. I want something else a little different in there, so I'm going to need something else for the floors, which I'll think about as I'm building this. Let's see. And I was also thinking about doing something inside of them, like kind of color coding them in a way. So they'll have like accessories in them that are different colors. So maybe it might be something as simple as a potted plant or a piece of glazed terracotta as a stand for their lamp or something like that. And that way, like, as I'm using them as villagers and trading with them, you kind of, that color coding kind of, it helps your brain kind of subconsciously remember who is who, right? So when you kind of go up into this apartment and I need to get the whatever book, you know, my brain might remember that the whatever book is the guy with the yellow bed or something like that. All right, I think that's going to work. You see, I'm cranking through my logs now. I made way too many logs into planks earlier. I'm going to have to get more trees now. I'm so bad at planning sometimes. I think that's going to look pretty good for the start. So I need to make them the same height as they are, because they're going to be boxes. Let's see. So that means there's going to be 4 high and then a ceiling. And then, let's see. So it's going to be like, so there's going to be 4 pieces of kind of glass in there. And then now these ceiling ones, I'm going to make them into these because you're going to see these top corners, because they're, like I said, the boxes aren't going to line up. So you're going to actually see those. You might see those sticking out. So they need to be not just solid tree trunks. Okay. All right. Yep, I am going to have to mine more trees. That stinks. All right, let me finish making these boxes, and then I'm probably going to go plant some trees, and I'll be back with you in just a second. Okay, so I finished making those first two apartments. I planted some oak trees, and they're growing. I'm doing it two different ways here. On this way, I just use regular glass, and here I use the new tinted glass. And this is the glass that's made by combining it with the amethyst crystals. And I think that looks actually kind of nicer. It kind of gives it, it's going to feel like it's giving them a little more privacy. Yeah, they're going to be a little more protected from the sun in there. They won't get sunburned. And I think that looks nicer than all the white lines in the regular clear glass. So I think I'm going to go with that look. And one thing that's nice about that is, even though you use up a bunch of crystals, it makes the glass go twice as far. So a half of stack of glass ends up becoming a stack of the tinted glass. So if I use the white glass just to do these 4 walls, that's literally a full stack of glass per apartment. And now if I use the tinted glass, it's going to be a half a stack of glass per apartment. Of course, plus, you know, the crystals. But the crystals, you get a lot of crystals when you mine them, but then also when you add fortune to it, you just get a ton of them. So that shouldn't be a problem. And I was thinking what I wanted to do with the floors and ceilings. And what I'm thinking is I'm going to see if this smooth basalt is worth using. Haven't really used it for anything before. I'm going to see if that might make a decent ceiling and floor for these things. So let's just see. I'm going to do this and then step back and see what it looks like. And of course, this tinted glass doesn't let any light through. So now at this point, even though it looks okay in here, this should be like light level 0. Block level 9, 8. Oh, because I still have this opening here. Let me close up this opening. Yeah, see, this is 0 light level in here. So each of these guys is definitely going to have a lamp inside their apartment, but while I'm building, I at least have to have a torch in there. So let's just take a step back and see if that basalt looks like it's going to make for a decent ceiling and floor for these. You know, I think it looks okay. I think that's going to be just fine. And, you know, it gives me a use for a newish block that I've never used before. So I think this is going to be what their apartment's going to look like. Of course, they're going to have a workstation, and I'm just trying to decide if I'm going to give them a bed or not. They don't need a bed to do their thing, right? So they can trade all they want with just a workbench. If I give them all a bed, then suddenly this is going to turn into a village, and we're going to get cats, and we're going to get iron golems and stuff, and that might not be a bad thing. So maybe I will give them a bed, and maybe that's part of the color coordinating that I can do, is giving them different color beds. And of course, I'm going to have to give them all a lamp of some kind and some kind of table to put the lamp on. It might even just be something as simple as a crafting table. They're probably all going to get a chest, just so that I can store trade materials in each one. And just those few things would pretty much fill up their apartment. So I think that will be plenty of things. Yep. And I extended this out a little bit. So this fence was pretty close to the wall of this, but it was also just a straight line. So I just made a little bit more moss out here, and it kind of brought this out a little bit more. And I think that looks nice. So let me sleep away this night. I'm going to go fill in that apartment, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so that one's done now. So those are going to be my first 2 apartments. One of them is going to house Mr. Mending, and the other one will house whoever I make next. Not sure who that's going to be yet. Probably Unbreaking, because Unbreaking can go on everything, kind of like Mending does. And that might be a good book to have. So let me go get a few things to furnish their apartments. So let's see. I should have a couple of beds that I've already harvested from the... I got a purple bed and a blue bed. All right, so it looks like we're going to have purple and blue as the first couple of guys. So let's see. I don't need some of this in my inventory anymore. Let's see. I'm just going to dig some of this out. And now I'm just furnishing the apartment, so pretty much most of this can go. I'll put the tinted glass here. I'll put the regular glass with the sand here. Yeah, boy, I almost ran out of logs making those. Okay, so we got blue and purple. I said each one is going to need a chest. So here's a couple of chests to help furnish that out. They're each going to need a lamp. At least one lamp. So there's one lamp. Let's see, what else are they going to need? They're going to need their workbench, which is going to come with them. What else did I say? I wanted them to have some kind of little stand. It's probably going to be a crafting table. And oh, you know what? I should be using some of this wood that I made instead of using more logs for this stuff. Okay, probably going to have a crafting table in each one. And trying to decide if they want anything else that's already going to take up 1, 2, 3, 4 plus the workbench 5. That's going to take up 5 of their floor space already. They're probably going to need some kind of doors into their apartments, and then of course the ones that come later might need ladders and trapdoors. And actually, you know what? I don't think I'm going to use doors for their apartments. So they're going to be inside that fence and they're going to be safe. So I think I'm going to use trapdoors just to help keep them in. And I'm trying to decide what kind of trapdoor do I want. I'll start with oak and just go from there. All right, well, this might be enough to furnish their apartments for now. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so I guess Mr. Mending will have this apartment. So he is going to have the purple bed. And let's see, where does he want to sleep? He wants to sleep on this side, farther away from the mobs. And his workbench will probably be there. So I'm going to put a chest maybe here. And we'll put his crafting table here. And we'll put a lantern on his crafting table. His workbench will be here. Then the entrance to his house will be, well, you know, he should probably be on this side since this is where this door is. So let me undo everything I just did. Okay, so his door is probably going to be here. We're going to say it's going to be in this corner. And the way I'm going to do the door, since I don't have to worry about zombies getting to him, I'm just going to do this. Do I do it on the bottom? No, because I can't jump that. Okay. I'm going to do it on the top. So I can get in and out of this, but again, the villager won't be able to get out of that. So I think his doorway is just going to be an open door like that. Yep. Okay, so then if in the future he decides to have a ladder to get up to the other apartments, my guess is it would probably end up being in this corner. So let's try to keep that corner free. So in that case, then we'll put his bed over here near the doorway. And hopefully when he gets out of that bed, he won't pop out of here. And then I will put the workbench here. Let's see. I'll put the chest here next to his workstation. And we'll put his crafting table next to his bed. Like a little nightstand. And then his workbench. Yeah, I think that's going to work. Okay, good. And then the other guy, his doorway will be here. And he'll get a trap door to block him in. And again, if he has a ladder going up, my guess is it would be in this corner, either here or here. So we'll kind of keep everything of his on this side of the apartment. So now he is going to have a bed here with a crafting table next to him with a lantern on it. And then he's going to have, he'll do a chest in this corner and his workbench here. How's that? Perfect. All right. Nice, simple little apartments. Definitely not luxury living, but they're not shoved in a stall in a trading hall. So I think they'll be happy. And I think that looks like, well, for now I think it looks pretty good. It looks a little weird because it's just two of them, but imagine it growing in the future. Of course, it might look terrible when it grows, but we're going to go with it. Okay, so okay, I need to do the rest of this relatively quick because now I'm running out of time. So now I need to get this guy into his apartment. So the first thing I need to do is get him down there. So we'll just throw this switch, flaps pointing down, which means he will go downstairs. And then I'll send him that way. Oop. And he's down. Okay. So now I'm just going to have to get some track. So he is now positioned to come outwards. Okay. So I just need to run some track over here to his new house. So let me go. I'm going to have to go construct some track, some rails, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I just gave this guy a quick and dirty way to get into his apartment. I just busted a hole in his wall. I sent the rail going straight into his apartment, put a few powered rails along the way. And let's get this guy in there. All right, switch is pointing out, which means he goes out, and I can hit this button. Hopefully he's got enough momentum there. Okay, that should help him out. Excellent. Whoop, right in. And he is in. Okay, good. So let me replace these two pieces of glass so he doesn't pop out. And I should be able to just get him out of his minecart now. So I'm going to need to put on my hitboxes, which is F3 and B, so that I can make sure I hit the minecart and not the villager. So let me aim for right there. Boom. Okay, yep, see he's here. See he's stuck on the door. He can't get out. And he's got his little apartment. So now I need to go get his workstation and get that in here so that he can start doing his research again. All right, I should have grabbed this whenever I first sent him down. I forgot to. All right. Oops, oh, I'm hitting all the wrong buttons. Jeez. So I remapped my run key to the R key because trying to hit the control button was always a problem for me. I would hit shift instead and all that kind of stuff. So I remapped my run key. So sometimes I kind of just, I'm trying to run, but I accidentally open my inventory, which I don't know if that's worse than accidentally shifting. Cool. So it looks like he found his workstation. So he is, looks like he's going to be happy. Excellent. All right. I'm going to bust this down. And then I think my next order of business is to go get Mr. Farmer into the conversion station here and get his trades back to being decent. So let me clean up this track, and I'm going to go run a track over to the farmer, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've run some track over to the farmhouse, and this is just quick and dirty. I just need to get him over here converted and then get him back. So I just ran a line over top of the cows and into his house. So now I just need to get him in the minecart, which is always a challenge with these guys. Getting them in a minecart is sometimes some of the most difficult thing you can do with a villager, because they will always try to stand where you don't want them to stand. So if I make a little loop of track, it might be a little easier. So, see, he's going to go stand in the one spot the track isn't. Okay, so, see, look at this. Come on, guy, get down. So let me put the cart down. Come on, stand on the track, buddy. Okay, push. Oh, no, no, no. Now it's going to go out. Stop. Okay, get down. All right, he's in. Great. All right, let's get him going. Give him a good push. Hit the power track. Okay, there you go. All right, he's on his way. So, did I throw the switch right? Okay, okay, so he parked in the little corner here, so now we're going to say go up. And let's go make sure the one that is up there is facing the right direction. Well, I guess if it's not, we'll just see him come back down. So we'll press the button and pop on up. And he is in the corner. Okay, great. Excellent, that's where I want him. Okay, so let's go ahead and zombify him. And the track's going the right way for that. Yep. All right, get on over there, buddy. All right. And then we're going to send him back. And we'll get him going. All right. Well, we'll see him in a few minutes. Okay, so he has finished curing, and now all of his trades should be back to 1. That potato tray is no longer floating up there in the 4 and 5 range. And now, hopefully, now that he's been cured 5 times, he will keep those prices, and I shouldn't have to worry about him going up anymore. All right, so this switch will get him to go back downstairs. So, oh, got too close to the Zom. Okay. There you go, buddy. We'll reset that. And now we need to send him back home before that sun goes down. Let's see. All right, we'll send that outwards. And go ahead. Hopefully you got enough momentum to get up this first little hill. Oh, just barely. There we go. Okay. And that stopped him from going in. I guess being on it, he doesn't like the angle. Oh, Lord. He's going to cause a problem right here with the sun going down. Jeez. All right. Get a rail on this block and just give him a push. Okay, there we go. You know what? I put his andesite away because it was in my inventory and I didn't think I needed it. All right. I'm going to use your bed, buddy. Okay. And let me get you out of this minecart. You need to stop moving. There we go. Good deal. Alright, let me clean some of this up, and I'll be right back. Okay, well, I did some cleaning up, and I screwed up a little bit. So I set my empty minecart here, and I was gonna, like, just send it downstairs so it can just wait there, but I forgot to throw the switch. And the cart came around into this corner, and it picked the zombie up out of the container that he was in. So now I have to get him back, and I figured this has a potential to really go poorly, so I figured you guys would want to watch this. So I just built him a little stair to get up here, and his trapdoors that were his ceiling, I put them now at this level so he'll think he can walk across them. And he will hopefully fall into that. So let me put some here as well. So the zombie, so if I let him out of his cart and stand here, he should pathfind. Sometimes I think mobs won't cross the tracks. I might have to lift some of these tracks up. So let me do that. So now hopefully now he will pathfind up here to me, and he will think he can walk across that, and hopefully he'll fall back down. So let me turn on hitboxes and try to get him out of the cart. Oh, there you go. Okay, now come around, come to me, fall down, Excellent. Okay, stay down. Okay, I think we're good. So now I need to recreate his roof so he doesn't just try to jump right out. Okay. So, roof. roof. Okay, that'll keep him from jumping. Where's the other one? There it is. Okay. Okay. Oh, wow. You know, you just do a stupid little thing while you're cleaning up, and then sometimes it just creates problems. So what I was going to do was I just put the minecart down. I'm like, well, let me just send it downstairs, and I'll store it downstairs. And that's what I meant to do. Okay, well, I think this is a good place to end the episode. I think this is going to be a little bit shorter than my other episodes, but that might not be a bad thing. So we'll just kind of, while the sun is setting, I'm just going to say goodbye. I appreciate you coming by and spending some time with me today. I hope to see you again. And if you want to drop me a line in the comments and say hi, I would really appreciate that. All right, I'll see you later. See you next time. Bye-bye.